Look, honey, if you and Lucky want to stay a while, I got a spare bedroom upstairs you can stay in.
Oh, thank you, Mamie, but we're going to be all right, really. I wish that I could tell you about this, but I can't. You see, Luke and I have been having some problems for a while now, and we're trying to work it out, and it'll be resolved one way or the other very soon.
Well, just so long as you know that I'm here for you, that's all.
Well, I think that's why we landed on your doorstep.
Good.
Simone and I had to leave so quickly the other day, and you were just about to tell us more about your family and our house, and you were showing me some picture here.
Oh, yes. My husband, Daniel Ward, and Bradley, and David, and our daughter, Edith, on the porch. Yes, let me see. Bradley was about 12 years old there. So this is the summer of 1957.
And he grew up to be a minister and a state assemblyman?
And the husband and the father. Isabella and their children came to live with me in your house when Bradley went to Albany. And they stayed for some years after that.
Did they have a dog with spots?
Her name was Polly. And she finally went to Philadelphia with my daughter-in-law and her two babies. Oh, that dog lived to be 16 years of age.
We found a child's drawing of her. It was in the corner cabinet.
That's my grandson, Justice. Boy, that child loved to paint and draw.
Where is he now?
Well, he's in Philadelphia practicing law and comes up to see me a couple of times a year. And, girl, I have grandchildren all over the place.
You must feel so fortunate.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
May I ask how your son Bradley died?
I really can't answer that. I can't answer that because I truly don't know. He just disappeared.
What?
Bradley came down from Albany late June. And Isabel and the babies had gone to Philadelphia to stay with her mother. And he was planning to drive down on the 4th of July. They came to see me. We sat on the porch. We talked through the night. Then he walked down the steps into the soft June mist. Nobody's seen him since.
How could that have happened? How could somebody like Bradley just disappear? And why?
There were reasons. Bradley stirred things up in the Port Charles community. I mean, he lit a fire under some important people.
Who?
Well, he was pastor of the Mount Zion Church, which is still my church, and helped support Bradley House. And there were things that needed to be done in the community, and Bradley did them. In those days, the banks were redlining, and the people that lived and worked in the community of Charles Street weren't able to get loans, weren't able to get mortgages, and he organized the community. And then he ran for state assembly, and he won. And there were people in the very same community, in the same neighborhood, who were on the take and closing their eyes to what was going on, who didn't like that. And, I mean, he kept at it. And he was pressuring the school board for fair redistricting and pushing for school programs and for job programs and daycare. And she got things done. And he made enemies.
Are you saying that you think he was murdered?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying he disappeared.
Without a trace? I mean, was there some kind of a police investigation?
Well, in some fashion there was, but there was no evidence. Nothing. And so they gave up the investigation. They stopped.
You must have been so angry.
Oh, yes, I was. With Bradley gone, I reached another level of anger. Anger was not enough. You understand that?
I think I do. Is that why you left your house?
Well, after my husband died, we owned that house free and clear. And when Bradley decided to run for the assembly, I took out a mortgage at the bank. And every cent that came out of there went into his campaign, and it still wasn't enough to cover the work that had to be done. And then when Bradley disappeared, the bank foreclosed us. And I had to give it up.
It's a shame.
Maybe it was time. My daughter-in-law took Justice and Faith down to Philadelphia to live with her relatives, and my youngest son helped me buy this place.
And you filled it with babies.
I did indeed. And now that old house is yours, and it's filled with happiness, and that's a joy.
For me, too.
Mm-hmm.
Did Lucky ask you about his room?
He did. And I told him it was Bradley's room.
Really?
Yes. And David was across the hall, and Edith next to him. And Lucky's got it straight, believe me.
I really hope that you will come and visit us there.
Oh, I will, I promise.
Mamie, Virginia needs you in the back. She said the thermostat's off.
I hope I live long enough to see a new furnace in this house. Come on, Dexter.
Come on.
Come on, yes. And Ramsey, come on, let's go see about this heat. No, come on with me. We're going to check out the heat. See you later.
Wow.
She's really something, isn't she?
She's very, very cool.
Yeah.
I like it here, Mom.
Oh, so do I.
You all right?
I am much better. What about you?
Well, I was back there with the little kids, and I forgot about everything. The man in the stairwell, and it's great.
And she told you about your room?
Yeah, she told her that her older son lived in there, and she showed me a picture of him. I love all these pictures.
Yeah, me too. They're nice, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Someone's here looking for you.
What? Oh, Luke. Thank God. Oh.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, cowboy?
Hey.
Oh, well, I sure called that one wrong.
Maybe. This is my husband, Luke Spencer. Mary May Ward.
Very, very pleased to meet you.
Mrs. Ward, this is not the first time a house of yours has sheltered my family. Thank you.
Mamie, and you're very welcome. Lucky?
Yeah.
Dexter's been hollering for another ride on that wheelchair. Time to leave your parents alone for a minute.
Well, I promised him Ramsey 2 times.
You know where to find us.
Thank you. Who were they?
They were sent by Garfield, but it's over. I should have never left you alone.
What does it mean? I mean, where do we go? What do we do?
It all came down between Frank and Garfield's men. According to Sonny, we're out of the middle. Garfield was smoked. So, at At least for now, this part of the game is over.
Does this mean that we can stay in Port Charles? Can we go back to our house? What?
Well, yeah, we'll go home. We'll secure the house. And I'll spend a few sleepless nights. And then we have a decision to make. You know what the stakes are. Do we stick it out here and do what we came to do? Or do we take off again? Don't answer that right now. Let's just think about it. Think hard about it, because this time, once the decision is made, that's it.
Stop it.
Stop what?
Staring at me. I know what you think. You think that I'm avoiding the issue. Okay, so you're right. It's a very hard decision for me to make. And I just don't want you to pressure me.
No pressure, Angel. It's cut and dried. Either we stick it out here till I can take care of Frank Smith, or we hit the road like always and hope the old ball and chain shoots himself in the head.
Wonderful. So my choices are to let you walk into the lion's den and pray that I don't become a widow, or I completely disrupt my son's life again, leave him with a life with absolutely no solid ground under his feet, where we're all in danger if Smith ever finds us.
Well, that's the paradox, darling. There is no peace of mind while Frank draws breath.
I know that. That became very clear in the hospital elevator when I was shielding our son's body from bullets. Luke, there just must be some alternative.
Well, then you tell me what it is.
Alternative just isn't an option for me.
What alternative?
To go to Sean and ask him for protection and relocation. But I know you don't have to have dinner with him, let alone to trust him with our life in his hands.
I am not going to have some federal agent or some spud with a badge telling me where to go, what to do. Here's your house. Here's your job.
All right.
Having everything monitored. You're...
Don't hurt yourself, okay? I know. You couldn't live with that. Not for more than 10 minutes.
All right, let's do this the Laura Spencer method. Let's make a list. What do you ultimately want for yourself?
The same things I want for everyone else.
But Laura first. You want peace of mind, right?
Yeah.
You want to live here in this house. You want to enjoy your friends and your family. And maybe have a chance to do a good deed or two for the community. You know, the Mary Poppins thing, little Girl Scout cookie that you are. Am I right?
You make it sound so simplistic, but yeah, I can't argue with you.
Right. Well, then my way is still the only way to do that. Let me get close enough to bring Frank down, and then you can have your wish list, and everybody will be happy.
How happy am I going to be if something goes wrong and Lucky and I lose you?
Well, something usually goes wrong, but we manage. Look, Laura, everything that we've been through since we came back has led us to this moment in time, this chance to take care of Frank.
But that's assuming that you're right about his plan.
But I am right. The whole thing just smells of prison break. The only thing that's left is to make sure that he screws up on his way over the wall.
Then what?
Well, then it's solitary confinement for the rest of his miserable life, or if we're lucky, You know, he wouldn't be the first con to get killed in an escape attempt. And to ease your overly sensitive conscience, I wouldn't even have to pull the trigger, would I?
Can you do that? Can you really stay clear of it? Because the whole point is to do this without losing you.
Well, life's full of risks. But we've got to eliminate the source of all our problems if we're ever going to have what you want.
Frank.
It's the only way, Gumdrop. You know I'm right about this. I usually manage to get us through in one piece.
And you love to remind me of that, don't you?
Well, sweetheart, I'm only talking facts. Recent history, even. How about our little plane trip?
Our flight into Port Charles?
You were worried when we ran out of gas.
Oh, yeah, silly me. Called me crazy.
Well, we got out of it, didn't we? And not only did you have your first one-on-one with a parachute, but I got to induct you into the Mile High Club. And one day we can tell our grandchildren, we did it at 12,000 feet.
Will you also tell our grandchildren that you had me jump out of a dying airplane into a raging river?
Well, which I also managed to get you out of. And you know, those rapids were nothing compared to riding the rapids of the Rio Grande.
But that was different. We had to get to Mexico.
Well, we could have got there through Texas. We didn't have to go through Arizona.
But that's exactly what Frank Smith's men were expecting. You know, that, but we didn't have to get off those mules. We're doing just fine there, and we didn't have to switch to the raft.
Tell my ass. He was pooped. And besides, the rapids were faster. And it was so hot. Remember? The rapids were cool.
I do remember. It was a real scorcher that day. It was educational, though. I mean, Lucky did get a chance to see the Grand Canyon.
Right, but you're losing the larger picture here. I managed to get us out of that, as I always do.
And you enjoyed every single minute of it, which worries me.
Always something.
I just have one thing to say. Life after Frank Smith.
Excuse me?
Look, if you pull this off, and I think that you will, what happens then? You know, your wish list, it bears no resemblance to mine.
Could we just cross that bridge when we get there, please?
Well, I think it deserves a little bit of thought. You love the danger. It is your element.
There are times when you love it, too.
I know that, but I can live without it, happily.
I can't. What about Canada? That was a very quiet life we had there until Frank caught up with us.
And you called it an extended vacation. But you never really stopped looking over your shoulder. Waiting. The danger was still there. It was still keeping you on edge while we were pretending to live like everybody else.
Laura, I don't want to live like everybody else. Do you?
No, never. I want this to be intense, just to be us, without worrying about where the next adrenaline rush is going to be coming from. And I don't know if you can do that.
Sweetheart, I'm not a suit and tie. I never will be.
Luke, I don't want you to be that.
I'm not ready to let Frank Smith slide because we don't know what life would be like without him.
Do whatever you have to do. But make me one promise, all right?
I'll try.
Don't get killed, or maimed, or end up in jail.
I promise.
Good. Because if you break that promise, I'll just have to kill you myself.
Look at me. This is a nightmare. Next, I'll be going to PTA.
Oh, right. That chance.
You hate it if I turned into a lawn mowing, football watching, barbecuing, suburban, civic minded dude, and you know it.
Only if you started wearing Bermuda shorts pulled up to your chin.
Well, I've always been a sucker for polyester.
Listen, I'm not trying to change you. You know, even if I could, which I can't, I wouldn't do that.
Are you sure that you're not ready to just, trade me in on a new model, something squatty with airbags, something safe and younger?
Oh, Luke, why would I do that? Why? When I've got perfection.
Yeah, well, now, careful, I might disappoint you.
No, never. Luke, most women go through their entire lives without having what I have on any single day. What I want is for us to spend our whole lives together.
Well,
I want them to be long lives.
and I can only do what I can do.
I'm not asking you to make promises that you can't keep. I'm asking you to try.
Despite your complaints, you would have just crawled up into a ball on some sofa and withered away if we'd stayed here after we got married.
I know. I love our lives. I do. It's just that I could live without the constant worry that you and Lucky might be in danger.
We don't do it on purpose.
You don't try to avoid it.
You could really live without it, couldn't you?
What I can't live without is you. I need you. I really do. More than I wanted to. More than I ever thought I would. I know that may scare you a little bit, but that's how I feel.
Let's go upstairs.
But let's get awake.
Well, you want to do it here on the table?
What about your back?
Oh, that's right.